Why is mind important? Why is studying mind important? Everything is mind. You understand? Simple and plain. It's just that simple. That's the short answer to that question. That's the most profound answer to that question. All is mind. You understand me? So people think like, okay, I study mind. What is mind? All is mind. You understand? I'm good now. No, you far from good. Because you ain't studied mind your entire life. You ain't studied the all your entire life. You ain't studied the essence of the fabric of our universe your entire life. You haven't studied the universal principles. You don't know none of that shit. You understand me? So when I say the all is mine, you're like, oh, I got it. Mind is all. I can move to the next step. No. Now it's time to investigate the all. You, the all, and the environment that you were brought up in is the all. You understand? This all encompasses mind. You understand me? You are focalized mind. So when you get into study of self, you just start with horoscopes, numerology, what planets, your astrological chart, what planets you was born under. You start with that. That's just the basis of shit. And then you go into biology, just basic shit. Quantum biology, I swear it's just basic shit, but it's some profound shit. Quantum biology is extremely profound because it gets to the end of us, and then it gets to this point where they call it the unquantifiable. You understand? The unmeasurable. So in every area of science, they get to this point where they can no longer define. It's greater than themselves. So you want to learn the auspiciousness, the magnificence about yourself first. You understand me? Which is a deep thing to dig, because once you get to the unquantifiable matter, you're saying, hey, I'm made of this nothingness. In quantum biology, they go from the cells to the nucleus in the cells. Then they go to which is the atoms inside of the cells. The nucleus in every cell, which is that little black dot, is filled with atoms. And in every atom is shaped just like a cell, got a little black dot in the middle, and those are particles. Those are quantum particles. Atoms, and then from atoms inside of the atom, the nucleus inside of the atom is mostly 90 something empty space. I think it's like 3% mass, just like the cells. There's only 3% mass, and the rest is just energy around it. But once you get to the atomic level, then in the nucleus in the atom, you understand me, is the particles, the quantum particles, if I'm saying that correctly. And when you get to this quantum particle level, the quantum particles inside of just like this, the nucleus in the cell, there's a dot inside of the quantum particles, and this is the unquantifiable matter. You understand me? You can't even see your cells. You understand? So you definitely can't see an atom. You understand? And with our science and with our materials and our machines, we can see quantum particles. But inside of the quantum particle, I'm saying a little more clearer now. Inside of the quantum particle is this unquantifiable matter, this essence, this energy that makes up us. You understand me? This is mind. This is this intelligentsia that's holding all of this shit together, holding us together. You understand me? Holding our environment together, holding the universal laws together. So when you get to a certain level, the universal laws is bullshit. You understand me? Because the universal laws is only work here, only work in this expression that's being held together by this essence, by this mind. You understand me? They call it a mind because it's a thinking substance that we are encapsulated in. So when you talk about ego and all this other shit, people don't know what they're talking about. You understand me? We are an expression of mind's ego. We are focalized mind. We are focalized information. Everything you see is an aspect of mind. We think in front of us is just, clearness because we can wave our hand, but there's this thick book. You understand me? If I can get a book for you, there's this thick book in front of us. Every inch, everything that we think is clear in front of us, there's this thick mass of information. You understand? We are being held together tightly. We think we're free, but we are actually in a cell. We are encapsulated. You understand me, in this expression. So anyway, you want to know the things that twerk this expression. So when you talk about mind, that's just not a in and out thing. That's just not something that you can read a book on and then you got it. I've been reading the same book for over 10 years, 15 years. I've been reading the same book. I've been referencing the same book. I'm not reading the whole book in its entirety. I've actually graduated to actually correcting the book and and doing some other shit. But I've read dozens of books on mind, and this one in particular, which was the first one. I read something by Deepak Chopra before this one, but I didn't realize I was reading all of the Hermetic principles. The first time I heard the whole list of, I guess, the Hermetic principles, this was with Deepak Chopra. In his books, he had several books on mentalism and spirit science and shit like that, they call it. But it's all mind. You understand me? So mind is the anchor of it all. A good book by Deepak Chopra is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. That's a powerful book. That's a powerful book on interacting with this environment that we're starting off with as mind. A lot of people are familiar with the law of attraction, which is the third law in the 7 Hermetic principles. But there's a reason why the laws have been put in order. You just can't jump around from law to law. You can't. But a lot of people who have just researched the Abraham Hicks, the Secret, which is the law of attraction, the thing that's been pushed and ponied the most. A lot of people who have delved into that, the law of attraction and the Secret, have been left with a deficit. You understand me? Because it deals with attracting, but it doesn't deal with the law of correspondence, which is the second law, which I'm really not talking about right now. But since we talked about the third law, we might as well mention the second law, which is the law of correspondence. It talks about what's in your mental atmosphere. All of the shit that you've been picking up for your entire life as a being, human being, in this expression. You understand me? So your correspondence, what's in your attraction, what's inside of you, what have you been experiencing your entire life. Another book by Robert Kiyosaki. Definitely check out Robert Kiyosaki, man. Asian dude. He goes into a lot of things on mind and mentalism, but not just that. He predicted the last 2 stock market crashes, and he predicted the next one. He predicted the next one to be coming in the 7th year. You understand? Right now we're in the 3rd year, if you do your math. But Robert Kiyosaki said he predicted the next, and he approached Congress, or whoever he approached. Check him out. He got a radio station. Check out not Deepak Chopra. Check out Robert Kiyosaki. But he approached, I believe, Congress or whoever's over the money. I believe it was Greenspan at the time, who was the person who handled the money for the government or whatever. I don't know the technical name, but Alan Greenspan, I believe. But I might be wrong. He approached one of these individuals and he said, well, what are you guys going to do? What is America going to do in a sense, in event of a next stock market crash? And they said nothing. And there ain't going to be no bailouts. Ain't going to be none of that other stuff. So people are thinking this horrific thing is going to happen. It's just going to be a different type of America. The dollar's about to implode. You just have to be intelligent. If you can look around, you can read what's going on. So you want to be self-sufficient and all this other stuff like that. You want to build and be in community with people who think like self and everything else like that. But why is mind important? Because it's the thing that orchestrates everything. It is the rudder in the ship, in this vessel that we are in. You understand me? So your mind is working. It's just not working for you. 9 times out of 10, it's working against you. It's working to keep you in a subservient, less than position, because that's just how it's been designed. So when I tell people, mind is the all, the reason why we can't be like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying, we good. The reason why you can't be like that because we ain't been taught what we should have been taught our whole entire life since children. You understand? We should have been taught, about our atmosphere, about our environment, what we're actually in, because they know it's known, and what we are. This is not a new science. This is something that's actually ancient. Matter of fact, you can't even really get into this information deep unless you study the mythology, the oldest mythologies on the planet, the Mesopotamian, Babylonian, Syrian. It's the same mythology all over. The oldest mythology on the planet that connects the entire planet, because there's old shit all over the planet that belongs to this quote-unquote mythology, this pantheon, but it's the Anunnaki. You understand? So you find the ancient tombs and relics with these depictions of these individuals from Egypt all over to Nubia to freaking Asia to Bonham to anywhere all over the planet, Americas. You have things that can't be carbon dated, that's too old to be carbon dated. The Atlantean mythology is not a myth. It was a real mythological, wasn't a mythological city, it was a real place. So we have a lot of ancient mythology, but we have older mythology than the Anunnaki shit. We got older shit than that. The Anunnaki shit is just the oldest complete stuff we got. These white folks went around destroying everything that made us run the planet, because it was intimidating to them. So they had to connect us off from this history. We were powerful people for a long ass time, billions of years on the planet. You understand? The planet was one landmass. You understand? We orchestrated so the science that I'm talking about when I talk about mentalism, we have no experts currently known. We were experts in the past. This is the same science that you can grab objects with your mind and move objects with your mind. Bending the spoon like you've seen in the Matrix. Our ancestors had mastery over this dimension like that. They orchestrated the weather. They moved objects with their mind. You understand me? They moved objects with other objects. You look into Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla studied our ancestors emphatically, and this is his prognosis. He actually was able to tap into some things. See, everything that we see, the technology, all of that stuff comes from mind. It's all mind. You understand me? So it will behoove you to investigate mind in any extent that you can. It's a lifelong study. It's not something that you can get, after you read one book, two books. And matter of fact, you're probably going to revisit. You should be revisiting a book until you can tear it apart, because a lot of this information was written, in confining time. So if you don't have the next elevated thought, if you aren't downloading information from the meta, because our ancestors didn't write books. We didn't have books. We didn't need books. We started writing books because of the seers predicted that this monster was coming on the planet. You understand me? So we started developing a language, developing a book to give him to be more civilized. But we knew that this individual, this monster, this devourer, this planet infestation would devour this planet, and it was by design, because we knew this expression to be a trap, to be, a prison. You understand? This is what our ancestors told us. This is what the seers told us, about our environment. At a time when we had complete harmony with the environment. It was a matriarchal societies. This is why the Anunnaki shit ain't the oldest shit. Because it's too many men. Or too many masculine beings. Too many patriarchal mind states in the Anunnaki mythology. You understand me? When we got here, it was all feminine. All divine feminine energy. It was a matriarchal planet. And we ran the planet off of matriarchal energy. Wasn't no wars, you understand? It was peace. Everybody was flourishing. But even during this time of peace and beautifulness, we still told the tales, the seers, which are the bitches, which is it's a derogatory term right now, but this was a high venerative term for the seers, the bitches, these queens, the priestesses of the dog star. They would tell how this place was still a trap. This place was still, bondage. This was, a prison. If you read the Anunnaki, one of the mythologies, Kango, they got a character called Kango, and you see he's the same thing as the Osirian drama, Osiris. You understand me? But they chopped up Kango. Kango got chopped up. King, this is where you get king from. That's why everybody is a king. Every melanated person is a king. King is not gender specific. You understand me? If you read in Egypt, you had queens, you had women who was declared kings. You understand me? King was a reference to what you had inside of you. You understand me? King was a reference to the melanocyte. So this dude, this god Kingo, was chopped up and put inside of man. You understand me? He was created and put into that. He was such a powerful individual. He had to be chopped up in all of these pieces, because these guys, they can't die, right? So he had to be chopped up in all of these pieces and encapsulated inside of man. So every man, woman with melanin, is a king. You understand me? Because they have Kingo. Understand me? In fact, you can't have. So there's 50 million names for melanin, as you'll see. Kango is one of them. Viril, all of these things. Light. When you talk about light, they talk about the darkest light, which is the blackness. Black is condensed light. So they talk about melanin when you talk about light. When you talk about shadow. When you talk about chemical. So there's so many different things. But mind. It's imperative you know your environment, and you have to be treated like a child right now, because you, as a child, our ancestors would tell us our environment through these allegories. So we have to really go back as, in a sense, adults, and get this information we should have got as children. We have to spend some time studying it and familiarizing ourselves with the planet and who we are. You understand me? And mentalism is the law that brings that if everything around you is mine, money is currency. We call it currency. You understand me? So it's right there in front of you. So mentalism is the law that bring money with your mind. You could bring power. You could bring affluence. You could bring influence. You understand? You could bring longevity. You could bring youth and vitality by understanding and grasping this principle of mind. So I will be doing a 3-month class on mind, mentalism, and a whole slew of other things surrounding the mentalism. Remember, I just told you, mind is a subject that encompasses all. So we have to study all the subjects that come under mind, come under mentalism. So I hope you will join me in this 3-month class. I talked a lot on this. I'm gonna do a shorter drop and everything else like that. But it'll be a 3-month class, an intense class. I will be pairing you up with individuals. You will be meeting individuals. You will be making lifelong partnerships through these classes, which have been in the past. I've been able to connect people. I connect you through energy and such like that. But this is a powerful class, powerful class. I'm gonna have a scholarship program for 10 people. I'm gonna have 10 slots for 10 single mothers. That's gonna be part of my scholarship program who make under 60 grand a year. And we're going to have some things some requirements that they have to meet also, but it won't be financial. But yeah, that's what's up. You know, join me in this journey. Join me in this journey. I hope to make some lifelong partnerships through this class also with you. Like has been my experience in the past. Going through this information with like-minded individuals. And this transcends all spiritual systems, religions, and all of that. Matter of fact, after you get this information, which is the foundation of all spirituality, which is the foundation of all anything you could want to experience, mind, once you undergird yourself with these things and the things that mind encapsulates, you'll be able to be more prolific in whatever spiritual system you're in, you know. But that's all I got to say about that. I got so much more to say about that, but that's all I'm going to say about that. So, Papi.